Well, my Nigerian people, you have got a mathematical chance of qualifying to the World Cup. Very mathematical. I won't even explain it too much because you guys know exactly what is happening. So earlier results saw Nigeria beat Lesotho 2-1. And then we saw South Africa draw, which is a blow for them to Zimbabwe. Huge blow. And then, of course, unfortunately, Benin managed to get 3 points as well when they played in the other game against Rwanda. So it was a late goal, and it really put you, for a long time, it looked like you guys were going to qualify. So in terms of Nigeria now, we know there's a slim chance. The only chance I think they have because of the criteria for the playoffs, I don't think that can happen, only because you've got other teams who are better than you. The top 4 teams have got better points. Let's be honest, like Cameroon, I think I already have 18. You guys, even if you beat Benin on the 14th, you are still only going to get 17. So it's really difficult. The only chance you've got, I think the best chance is winning this group. But what does that mean? That means that South Africa will need to lose their match. And Benin, you have to beat Benin by at least 3 goals, a 3-goal margin because of goal difference. Now, let's have a look. Benin have played 9. They've got 17 points, a goal difference of 5. South Africa, goal difference of 3 with 15 points. Nigeria, goal difference of 3 with 14 points. So now, if somehow on God's green earth, South Africa managed to lose their last match, and then you beat Benin 3-0, then you have booked your place into the World Cup qualifier directly. Now, here are some of the roadblocks I have spotted. I watched the match against Lesotho, and you know what? For such a long time, I thought Lesotho handled that match really well. They were quite defensive. They managed to diminish the opportunities from your wings. When the ball went in as well, Osimhen was way too far back. You know, his chances were very few and far between, and the success margin was very low, only because of the way they set up. They managed to neutralize Nigeria very well. Very lucky that Nigeria got a penalty, of course, a handball. I hate handballs sometimes because they feel really, really unfair, especially with Lesotho being the underdogs, and then they concede a penalty like that. It makes you feel a bit awful, but I can imagine if you're Nigeria, that is like, yes, we have got a way back in. Goal slotted in by your captain, beautiful penalty. And then, of course, Adams scores late on, it's 2-0. And then your defensive frailties. Honestly, Nigeria, your defense is so poor that, it came off a corner, then it wasn't cleared very well. Your goalkeeper dropped it. Oh, my goodness me. And then, of course, Lesotho get a goal. At first, I said, you know what? When I was watching, I did not think Lesotho did much to score. I couldn't see them scoring for a long time, only because I thought, you know what, they're not very good and clinical. But I didn't think that Nigeria was showing the transition, like from when they defend okay, and then they get it into the midfield, but the control in the midfield needs to start from your defensive midfielders. And they just didn't have that creativity coming from that position where they could break down play, get some clean passes through to Osimhen, Dessers. They just did not have that. And I think that is where you are going to struggle again with Benin, because I think a better side than Lesotho, you would have struggled to score in the match. So that is one of the issues. Another thing I saw was the frustration from Ademola Lookman. He looked really good on that left wing, but he was getting very frustrated. The Lesotho team were very aggressive as well, trying to bully you, pulling hair. Every challenge or jumping, there's an elbow in, there's a foot left in, and your players struggled to handle that. they really struggled to handle that because there was very little good sportsmanship coming from Lesotho. And yeah, it was a bit, unpleasant. Very tough match. Very, very tough match. Let's have a look at the team you guys put out. 1 second. Troost-Ekong, of course, scored your penalty. Calvin Bassey as well had a bad fall when he landed on someone's foot. Another player, I think, who was in the wars today. Lookman, I thought he was quite frustrated to me, in my opinion. I'm not going to say much about your left back. Fredrick is a player I like from a previous game. I did notice him a lot today. I didn't really notice him too much. I was focusing a lot on the craziness that was happening with all those challenges in there. But Moses Simon, now he was very threatening. Moses Simon, very threatening, very creative, but he just couldn't get the final pass, couldn't get the final cross in. The defense handled it very well because on those wings, they managed, I think, personally, to neutralize you guys for such a long, long time until almost to the very end. But of course, you have to give credit where it's due. You found a way, managed to get the ball into the penalty. You won into the penalty area. You won the penalty. It was converted very, very well. Osimhen, I think me and Osimhen in African football, I just don't think he's as effective. I think the lack of supply doesn't help him. But I did see he had a few chances. He managed to get his head on a ball, had a couple of shots on target, which I saw, but they were never going to beat the keeper. The way he was playing, Alex Iwobi in that midfield, I think he battled really well. I know, and I need to sort of give an apology because in my previous video, I may have implied that your players are fake Africans, but I didn't mean it in a bad way. I just meant like Africans who didn't grow up on the streets like we did. Like my kids are going to be in the same boat where they don't have that same connection to the soil, but they do have the culture that the parents give them, but it's not the same. So, Alex Iwobi, I think, loves playing for Nigeria. All these guys do. And I'll never, ever accuse a player of not loving their country enough because I don't think that happens. Sometimes a game is just so difficult that you cannot, the chemistry is not there. And yeah, I still feel like Nigeria should incorporate a few more local players just to get that spirit in. They play really well, I guess. But when you come to African football, you need to have that African spirit, and you can only get it when you guys. I've watched football. I can watch street kids play, and the way those boys play on that field, it matters. When you take that grit from those stony fields and take it to a competition like a qualifier, it matters. That passion where you remember where you've come from. But let's be honest, these players are coming from better facilities, and this is sort of like a bit of a downgrade. Although, credit to Lesotho, that pitch was immaculate today. It was beautiful. And like the one they went to play in, and like the one Nigeria played in when they were in South Africa, that was a disgrace. In Bloemfontein, if I'm correct, that was a terrible pitch. Tonight's pitch was absolutely fantastic, and honestly, it was enjoyable to watch the ball move so cleanly. But still, I feel like Nigeria have got a few limitations. They might struggle against a team like Benin, who have been managing to be a lot more organized. But of course, I'm rooting for you guys to see how you do. You are my biggest supporters, and I really appreciate all the effort, all the comments that you put in my videos, and the tellings off I get as well. I appreciate all that. So I want you guys to qualify to the World Cup. So if you do, I'm going to be Team Nigeria because my Team Zambia are not making it again. And I'll see you definitely at the African Nations Cup over the winter in December. So yeah, we can talk then about our football. In terms of our World Cup qualification though, Nigeria they've left a light. There's a little light there for them. If all the stars align, if all the, think of, basically pray to all your grandmas, ask them to to like think of you guys, you know, pray to your grandmas, your grandpas, and let them bless you, because it's very possible. Look at what's happened in the matches in this ninth sort of round, where the results have gone your way. In fact, the worst thing that could have happened today was conceding that goal against Lesotho, because if you hadn't conceded that goal, your goal difference would have been 4 and Benin's would have been 5, giving you an even bigger chance. But we need, I forget. Yeah, anyway, I'm Nigeria now. We need South Africa to drop their points. We need South Africa to drop points, to draw or to lose against Rwanda. And then we need Nigeria to beat Benin by 3-0 or 4-1. And then you've got a great chance of, then it's happened. Of course, you have qualified, but I know it's really difficult. Tell me, how do you feel? Do you feel optimistic that it's going to happen? Let me even check where is it Nigeria, Benin, or Benin, Nigeria? Let's check where your next game is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be Nigeria. So home advantage, I'm sure everybody is coming out for that match. They're all going to come out for that match. You're going to root for your team. I'm going to be here rooting for the team as well, because, you know, it's going to be exciting. Everyone loves a Nigerian kit. You know, every kit they take to a major tournament is always a hit. I can't wait to see what they put up. But like I said, it is still on for Nigeria. Do not lose hope. But be realistic. Do not lose hope, but be realistic. It is possible. It is possible, but it is still unlikely. The odds, everything needs to align. The gods need to align and make it happen for Nigeria. Let me know what you think, though, about this whole thing. Now, let's have a look at some of the other results that happened in the other groups, because I've been focusing a lot on Group C. Let's see the other games that happened. In Group B, there were games in Group B, and the reason I'm doing this is because I noticed Senegal beat Sudan 5-0. DRC beat Togo as well 1-0. So let's see at the table there. So Senegal are looking really good for qualifying. So with 1 game to go, or is it 2 for them because they've got a group of 6? With 1 game to go, I'll check the games. They've got 21 points. DRC have got 19. And this is why Nigeria cannot rely on that second spot, because there are so many teams who've got more points who are going to be going into that playoff to go into that other continental playoff. So yeah, Senegal looking like they're going to go through. That would be good for them. They've done a great job in this group, but they had a bit of an easy group, didn't they? Right, so let's see Group F as well played today. Ivory Coast beat Seychelles 7-0. Gambia lost to Gabon 4-3. That looks like an exciting game. I might go and find the highlights for that. Let's have a look at Group D table. Yeah, very tight at the top for the two. So Ivory Coast 23, Gabon 22. Now let us see the fixtures coming up. So Ivory Coast, their last game is going to be Kenya. I can see Ivory Coast going through, and I think DRC Congo are going to be going into the playoffs. So it's going to be quite possible for them to go into the playoffs. But my goodness me, 7-0 was crazy. Adingra scored. Oh, the names. I love the names. All these boys I remember from the last African Nations Cup tournament. They've been impressive. Right, so that is it. And thank you for joining me, you guys, on Daliso Sports Show. Please share this video. You know, you've been doing a great job already. You're following me. You are doing a fantastic job. Please message me as well if you want to get more involved with the platform, because I would like to have a community of football fans who we can discuss sports and bring up new topics, not only on the international stage, but in the Premier League, in La Liga, Champions League especially. That's quite exciting. So we can watch our boys, Zambians, all the African players across Europe. yeah, get in touch with me if you'd like to get more involved in the platform, and I'll be absolutely excited to involve you so that we can at least grow this channel, because our ambitions are massive. We are going all out in the next few months and years. We want to make Daliso Sports Show one of the major platforms, especially across Africa, in terms of, content production. So let me know what you think. Please do not be shy. Message me. I'll be happy to get in touch with you so that we can talk further. Right. Thank you for joining me once again, and I'll be talking to you very soon. Goodbye and good luck, Nigeria.